It's happening. It is freaking happening. AJ Lee is on her way back to WWE. In today's video, we are going to be discussing a blockbuster report that has come out that has revealed not only when we will see AJ Lee return to the squared circle, but also who she will face. Now, we all know the song and dance with this. It's one of the most anticipated returns in recent memory. The former three-time Divas champion AJ Lee is slated to work her first match in over a decade because a new report from Brian Alvarez of the Wrestling Observer has revealed the current working plan. Now, we all have figured it out that AJ Lee will be teaming up with CM Punk to take on our World Heavyweight Champion in Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. We all knew that. We could kind of put the lines together, but we didn't know exactly when. Would they save it for a major PLE? Would they do it at WrestlePalooza? Well, now we know. Now, a little bit of context here, okay? This planned mixed tag team match comes days after the controversial finish of Clash in Paris main event. We all saw it because it was Becky Lynch who interfered to help her husband retain the World Heavyweight Championship against CM Punk Jey Uso in LA Knight when she hit Punk with a low blow. This was just at a time where Punk was about to win the match. He was about to win the World Heavyweight Championship for the second time in, a month? But no. Becky Lynch showed up in a hooded costume. She pulled off the mask after hitting that low blow to CM Punk. Now, this immediately led to widespread fan speculation as to when we would get this match. If AJ Lee would make her return to the ring, and even the odds with CM Punk against Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. Now, we saw on Monday Night Raw that there was an angle between Punk and Becky Lynch. They went back and forth. Becky slapped him a bunch of times, and then there was a backstage segment where Punk asked, hey, where is this Friday's episode of SmackDown? Adam Pearce was like, it's in Chicago. Why? And that led to even more speculation. Hey, we're going to get AJ Lee's return on Friday night, or at least we're going to get the confirmation of it, right? Now, on Tuesday, Brian Alvarez, he took to X, and he confirmed that the working plan is indeed for AJ Lee to make her return to team with CM Punk versus Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch at the WrestlePalooza PLE. Okay, now this is September 20th. This goes head to head with AEW. If the match takes place as expected, it will be AJ Lee's first time competing inside of the wrestling ring since March 30th, 2015 on an episode of Monday Night Raw, which just so happened to be the night after WrestleMania 31. On that show, she teamed up with Paige and Naomi to defeat the Bella Twins and Natalya. Now, she's been effectively retired for over a decade from the pro wrestling industry. Her last role in the world of pro wrestling was as an executive producer and color commentator for WOW, which is AKA Women of Wrestling, from 2021 to 2023. Now, there was a report from Fightful Select that broke on Sunday afternoon that indicated there was more traction than ever on a potential AJ Lee return to WWE. Now, WWE sources had reportedly noted that her name had been brought up in numerous internal pitches and that those pitches were not being shut down as they had been in the past. And it was also noted that a WWE higher-up was not concerned about her long layoff, especially given her husband's own successful return after a lengthy absence, okay, which is interesting. Now, this event, WrestlePalooza, it's a massive, massive deal. Why is that? Well, the event is expected to feature the vacant Women's World Championship match. That's going to be Stephanie Valker, Io Sky, and an absolute barn burner. We're also going to get a singles match between John Cena and Brock Lesnar. Also, Cody Rhodes defending the undisputed WWE Championship against Drew McIntyre is rumored for that show. Cody Rhodes is off TV right now filming for the Street Fighter, so they may put Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre on this card instead, just kind of as like a little bridge gap. I don't know. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Let's talk about this massive, massive news. The massive news, the massive event, the massive return. I am so freaking hyped. AJ Lee returning inside of the squared circle, returning to a WWE ring, something in which has been fantasized by fans since she left WWE in the first place. Now, keep in mind that the only reason that she left WWE, there was two major reasons why AJ Lee returned to WWE, I think. I'll get to that in a minute, but here's the two reasons why she stepped away from the business in the first place. Number one, she had major neck issues. That's a no-go, okay? And the company, oh, by the way, had just fired her husband the year prior, and she was just finishing up her deal, right? Why leave the company right then and there, still be under contract with them, have that being held over her head, right? Would they release her? Would they not? Why go through all of that? Just finish out your time and then walk away. And she did. Now, she did do a little bit of wrestling for the Heels show with Stephen Amell, which I've touched on here on the channel before, but for the most part, she stayed out of the wrestling sphere aside from WoW. It's a massive, massive deal. Now, here's 2 reasons why this return makes sense. Number 1, it lets her end her career on a high note. If she wants to retire after this year, she can do so. After this match, she can do so. If she wants to do that. She doesn't have to. She certainly can. It also gives the fans closure. Okay, so it gives her a proper send-off and it gives the fans closure. Because I don't think many people were ready for AJ Lee to depart from WWE in 2015. Right? I just don't think so. So she had to go out there and give it one more go around. In my opinion, she's always talked about never say never in this industry. She rarely does interviews. She really rarely does interviews about wrestling and WWE in her past career. She wrote that book a few years, if not quite shortly after she departed from WWE, about her time in WWE, about what she went through, what she had to sacrifice, all that good stuff. Outside of that, that was it. We had not heard from AJ Lee regarding wrestling, really, right? Well, I would really like to hear what AJ Lee has to say about her WWE departure, about why she's returning, why now is the right time. I think in a lot of ways her husband being back in WWE greatly helps things. But then again, he was in AEW at one point in time, and there was wrestlers wanting her to join the company and come back and work there, but ultimately she opted not to do so. I think it's because, look, while she worked on the independents prior to WWE, she was a WWE name, right? And so when you are a WWE name, you don't want to go anywhere else. They pay the most money. They're the highest, stature type wrestling promotion out there. It's the biggest stage that you can get. Some people don't want to go anywhere else, right? If it's not WWE, they're not interested. And I think that was the situation in which AJ Lee found herself in. But an absolute game changer. Bombshell report that came out today. I am so freaking pumped. AJ Lee back in WWE. WrestlePalooza, September 20th. Her, CM Punk, against Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins.